There it is.
Is it up?
Can someone share a stream? Because I'm not in the lobby.
Okay, I actually think it's working, guys. Hello, stream.
There it is.
We're having technical difficulties. I'm actually running the stream today. Hello, I'm Kai. We're here joined by 3 other commentators. We're going to go down the list. First, we have Bossman27. Say hi.
Going on.
Yeah, man. We have 2 Americans at once. We have Faded with us as well.
This is weird.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's going to be a slightly scuffed stream today, but hopefully we should cover the action just as much. And in the shadows as well, we're also joined by the infamous Newman, who quite ironically I believe is banned in our chat, but he's here anyway.
Hello.
Say hi. He's here.
Yeah.
And
We know each other. We know each other. You heard me with Alfa Romeo all these days for Tier B, and now I'm with other 3 more people, and not with Alfa Romeo because he's bad.
yeah. He's banned, but don't worry, we're still here to run the stream. We're a little bit late to qualifying, as Beast is actually setting the fastest lap time. Newman and Faded just did this race yesterday, so what kind of lap times should you be looking for?
I don't know, maybe 36.1 Faded?
Yeah, top 2 times in Tier A was a 35.7, 35.8 from Melon and Romeo. Looking probably at a 36.1, maybe 36.2 here as top times.
Okay, obviously
Yeah,
consider
maybe.
all these lap times are bankers at the moment. So Max Husley set the first quick banker of a 36.7, which is a lot decent. That's kind of lap times you guys were doing for bankers. So, but
Faded was, not me. I had a qualifying.
he didn't. But you guys in general. But most of the field at the moment are just setting 37s, just as bankers. Presumably they'll push a little bit higher and have a bit more confidence coming into the next couple of laps. Presumably. You say 3 runs as well. It's very easy to make a mistake, right?
Yeah, definitely. 3 runs should be doable as long as you don't mess up timings like I did yesterday. As Lucas, 37.1, didn't do much practice, so it's not a horrible lap from him as his first lap up into to P2.
Yeah, definitely not too bad. Singapore is very much a track you can extract a lot of time out of, and all of it just comes from practice. So you definitely be able to tell who's been grinding out time trial today. As is anyone on the lap? Vade currently on the lap right now in sector 1.
Yeah.
Faded, you can run us through this one, as you actually did qualifying yesterday. Go on board.
First 3 corners we missed. Need to take a lot of this inside curb. Didn't really do too much. You should keep it probably through 5th through there. Back straight, low downforce will help a lot as he takes a bit of a wide line. 27.5 first split. You need to take a lot more inside curb. Not the best first split. Going into sector 2, again, lower gears, not too sure about that. Minimum speed seems very low. Looks like he's struggling for pace a little bit in corners. Not attacking curbs too much. Need to stay off of this curb on the inside. And this one as well. They will unsettle the car very easily. You need a really wide entry. Seems to have locked up there going in. As open the DRS for the second DRS zone. Going down into the 3rd sector, down into 2nd gear, would go a gear higher, maybe 2. Final sector, very tricky section that won't be on the calendar next year, as this whole port side is being rebuilt. Under the grandstand, something really unique about this circuit. As you go through the final chicane, really attacking the curbs. As Lucas Hendrick gets a 5-place grid penalty. Final 2 corners, though, for Vade. Crosses the line at 1:39.7. Not that fast of a lap.
Definitely.
It's not the first time. It's not the first time we see Lucas Hendrik getting a 5th place grid drop. We saw it as well on the last race, Nimola.
Yeah, he's done that into the pit entry, I think. I don't know how. That's interesting. Yeah, a little bit interesting. That's going to hamper him a lot as we don't really restart races. He's going to have to start 5 grid spotters down and is going to be very desperate to get himself into P1 then.
As now we have Max Fan on the outlap.
Yeah.
I think he's ready to get the pole. Like, he wants to fight to stay in the top 5 to be in tier 8. So,
yeah. Obviously, we're coming towards the end of the season at the moment. And for a lot of these drivers, getting in the top 5 is vital. As they're looking to get some bigger competition, fight a bigger kettle of fish up in tier 8. And for Mountain especially, it's on the cards, 100%. As is anyone going for a lap? UK Lucas W is about to. He's aborted his lap actually, coming to the pits, presumably made a mistake somewhere along the line.
The next one is Max Fun. If you would like, I would like to.
You want to go through the lap, yeah? We're hoping Max Fang can put in quite a bit of a better lap here. Newman's going to quickly run us through this.
Let's go on board with Max Fun. As he now approaches the last corner, take it easy, as fast as you can to start your lap. Now, 7th gear, you don't want to go up into 8 to get... Max Fun does it, okay. First corner, very good. He gets all the apexes done very smoothly. He goes on the power, very smooth again. And once again, he now has to cut this corner, which he does correctly. Goes on power, seems like a very good first sector at the moment. And now we see the first sector, how it's gonna be. Is it at 26.9? Very good. Not purple, but it's still a very good. It takes all the corners correctly here. The apex on 4th gear. All the power down. Watch out not to hit the wall or invalidate here. And he goes not hit the wall. So it's very good lap at the moment from him. It takes the apex cuts as much as you can. Don't take this curb here. And go on the power as fast as you can. And now, apex once again, 4th gear, full throttle, DRS open. And now we see the second split of Max Fun. What's it gonna be? 3.9, faster again. Takes the apex done, full power. And now he goes into the last section of the track. There's the most slower one. He gets everything done and now goes into the under the bridge. Apex is done. Apex done again. Quite a very good lap. He cuts here. And once again here. And now almost hits the wall. 6th gear. To now go down on 5th and 6th again. And now he's gonna do a 36.6.
That's going to be pole very close at the top, as I believe this is Jenna Andrews, who has just put their car into P3. So very close for the top 3 at the moment. Lucas Hendrik, 4/10 off, but on a lap himself. So he's definitely looking to improve as he comes towards the end of Sector 1. Just around the very similar pace to Matt's had in Sector 1 as well. But this is where it's all going to count. Sector 1's very, very simple to get right. Sector 2 and Sector 3 much more technical, but Lucas really struggling to get back on throttle there. Presumably going to give up on that lap.
He's lost the back end here in the last couple of corners. We've seen that back end snap. We saw that a little bit yesterday too. You know, you just get on the power a little bit too early, and the back end tends to come around on you here.
Am I fast or are you all slow? 36.7 is reasonably fast, isn't it?
That was around my banker yesterday, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, it's reasonably fast. It's difficult track to get a hang of. You have to be so gentle on the throttle. And this track's all about keeping up that minimum speed and just keeping the car moving constantly. It's very much a track with 0 rests. And that just makes it so hard to get right, especially for I don't think we have any stick players here. But even on a wheel, it's still incredibly difficult to get right. So just being good on throttle and having pretty consistent and accurate inputs is plenty enough to get in a good lap time. And then obviously the bit of practice, that lap time just disappears. As we saw from Melon yesterday, who obviously lives in time trial apparently. Well proved by here. Current and provisional pole was Max Fan. who I've just seen do like a 50% race before this. So, and the main characteristic was purely just kept the car moving and was very stable throughout the corners. As our Spectre he's currently our championship leader, I believe. Currently about to go for his first lap. Very confident, I assume, going out for a lap this late. Faded did this, and he didn't get another lap in after. So this is probably going to be Spectre's one and only qualifying lap, unless he's lucky. Actually, he might have another time to do another lap. But let's see where he can get himself on the grid order. This is a lap right now he's on, I believe.
Yes, he's on a flying lap as he works his way through turn 20 and 21.
He's going to get himself
around the
onto
final corner, up to the line. It's a 36.8. Only good enough for fourth.
Very close. Still in that top split there. And this track has a very strong undercut. And if you can manage tyre wear, it can be very strong moving from the hards to the mediums. Yesterday, there was one driver on the mediums starting off. So presumably that'll be the strategy, hard to mediums.
That undercut was super powerful. We saw with the Red Bulls yesterday. Focuser jumped his teammate Thomas Vink.
Yeah, the only downfall to that is the last couple of laps, the tyre wear just gets ridiculous compared to the guys who take it even a lap longer. As you saw, obviously, with Faded, who just waited until the end and just burned his ERS and drove past him like he was stood still. If you can manage tyre wear and just pull out a nice gap and maintain that gap with a bit of ERS management, that undercut is so strong.
Yep.
But I feel like that's the end of Spectre's qualifying. I don't see any way he can come in and back out in 3 minutes. Spectre's probably have to settle for that. As the rest of the drivers do begin to come out. Max Husley on his outlap now. Says he hasn't practiced at all. But starting off with a 36.7, presumably might have a bit of improvement in the next lap. And the rest of the grid should come out soon. But it is quite unsure. Faye, what would you say? I mean, obviously you did a bit of practice for yesterday. What sped up your lap times? Obviously, at some point you're stuck at a certain lap time and all of a sudden it disappears. What did you change?
I mean, my quality was just trying about consistency. My race pace, literally just saving ERS, saving tires. Very important here. Tires fall off easily. You have to run minimum pressures, which is not something you do at many tracks. Tires overheat very easily, so you need to be sure to be very careful on the throttle, because once you start getting a little bit of wheel spin here and there, you light up the rear tires, and then you're going to lose so much pace as your tires are just going to be overheating, and you won't be able to get the tires back down to an ideal temperature. So it's all about keeping good tire temps and just being consistent with your lap times, really.
Okay, and it's really high ride height here, I believe. The curbs are quite aggressive, and there's so much time to be gained on them. Looking at a max of 11.8, 11.9 even for the ride height. Here's Max Husley on his lap now. Can he get himself onto provisional pole? As a Max fan, less than a tenth in the distance, very much on the table. I mean, literally, he could improve a thousandth every corner. And that'll be enough to get him into pole position here. He's going into Sector 2 now. Looked reasonably fast in Sector 1, but obviously so much time to be gained here. Just a bit of confidence in the corners. And obviously keep out the barrier. It's very easy to make a mistake here. And just absolutely send it into the wall. I'd say quite a late turn in there from after watching Faded yesterday. But just keep the car quite nice and stable. And really opens up this corner as you have to. And got to focus on that exit. Going out into the second DRS zone of the lap. Coming down to Sector 2. Actually loses a tenth and a half there in Sector 2. Presumably a late turn in. Lost him a bit of time. Missed the apex a little bit. But I feel like you could probably gain that back in Sector 3 if he's lucky. Just now his head down and get a nice run. He's going under the tunnel, coming around the last couple of corners. What kind of lap time is Max Husley going to get? Is he going to have to settle for what he's currently already had, or is he going to improve? coming up around the final corner. Provisional pole is in the distance, comes across the line, actually gets improvement. A really rapid sector 3. That's 2/10 up on the board, and 36.479. That's going to leave MaxFan with a bit of work here. He's also on a lap, 8,000th up in sector 1 there, I believe. Coming through towards the end of sector 2, a 10th.5 up in a purple sector, and it's already on the chase to take back that provisional pole, as Frankie setting a 35.876 out of absolutely nowhere. That's matching yesterday's pole time almost, only a 10th up. As MaxFan coming under the tunnel might actually be quite close himself. Will he get into the 35s? And will he be able to fight for the front row here as he comes across the final corner? And definitely looking incredibly fast across the line for a 36.2. Enough to put himself in P2, but nothing on the Haas of Nor Frankie. Seems...
What's up for Lucas Hendrik?
Ooh, let's have a look. Lucas Hendrik, as you're right, looking incredibly quick, coming across the last couple of corners. And let's see what kind of lap time he gets. Looks very similar to his teammate MaxFan. Comes across the line for a 36.326, just a 10th off. And that's enough to give Red Bull a 2-3. As the AlphaTauri driver already messed up their lap. And that's qualifying over and done with. Very, very close with Tier A there. Matt saying my game kept stuttering me and lost me 2/10s in the first sector. That's where that time was lost. Did manage to make that up in sector 3 though. Obviously Lucas Hendry with a 5 grid penalty. So that's going to be Max Husley. Jan Halajed fan is going to move, along with Spectrum Bolt, it's going to move up the order. And Lucas Hendry is going to move up 6 to 8. He's going to start in 8th position. I am not very good at maths.
We can see.
But it's going to be an interesting race. Presumably, most of these guys watched Tier A last night, and we all saw Hards was so strong as a tyre, lasted very long, and gave the optimal strategy. Presumably, a lot of people are going to be starting on the Hards today. Obviously quite a small grid as well, so you don't need that softer compound. Oh, never mind, guys. It is raining. It's the green wall tyres, and this means action for us, and maybe a safety car or two. Tier A was really good last night. No safety cars the whole way through.
You also didn't
Unfortunately,
have rain.
no safety car.
There was also no rain. You're very, very right. So here we are in the grid. The engineers, I don't know what they're doing. It's like some kind of ritual, all in their little T-pose. Awkwardly close to each other. We're just not going to question that. I guess intimacy is a good part of team building. We never knew. I never knew. I believe intermediates, you have to make one pit stop at some point. And even for that, very undercut is still very, very strong. As the engine to see how many front wing plates we see flying off, especially in turn 1. A lot of people turned off racing line now, so the braking point is kind of hard to judge. So here we go, faded. Okay, that's 5 lights.
5 lights on, 5 lights out. Max had a lot of wheel spin at the start. Frankie gets a good start, so does Max, and he looks down the inside. Side by side with the Haas, a little bit of a step of oversteer. A lot of contact in the midfield is Jenna Andrews, it looks like, at P4, battling side by side with Max Husley. Spectre up at P5, good for his championship fight. Lucas and Lando down P12, P13, but Frankie, a brilliant start from him, able to keep P1 half a second, ahead of MaxFan.
Side by side.
As Jenna Andrews goes around the outside of Max Husley. A few drivers going wide at turn 7. Max Husley down to P4. Lucas Hendrick all over the back.
Really struggling there. Actually just went into the back of him. Really aggressive one, throwing on the brakes. Possibly a little bit too much. No game sound. I know what that is. I know.
Like a dirt track race out here. Everybody's sliding around, getting sideways, having trouble getting the power down through the corners.
MaxFan gets attacked by Jenna Andrews side by side. And now MaxFan stays in front, but I think Jenna Andrews is gonna use everything he has to attack him into the next corner. And he goes around the outside.
Oh, just enough space left there. Max Fan trying to give a bit of a squeeze. But Jenna Andrews has the inside line. Max Fan trying to hold on, but has to back out there. Do not want to go side by side through Sector 3, as there is not very much space for two cars to go wide. As Max Fan had a stab oversteer. Max usually looking to get in on this fight, but not enough space and has to back out. Obviously, only lap 1, as the great saying says, a race is not won on lap 1. The grid order so far is not Frankie, Jenna Andrews. Max Fan lost a position down into P3 and is now being pursued by Max Husley. Luca Hendrick gained 2 positions on the start, had a bit of contact, curious if his front wing stayed intact, and is actually feeling a lot of pressure from Kellen behind and seemingly sliding all over the place. Unsure of why that might be, but is still getting really good exits. Thanks, Count Muttley, it's hoping. I've never streamed on this PC in my defense. As here we are, all the drivers kind of lining up into formation. An exciting couple battles. So Faded, if this was you, what would you be looking to do right now? I need to know. What's the insight? Obviously you guys didn't do wet, but you should still have an idea.
I mean, it's Singapore. You just have to keep... honestly, I wouldn't try and fight anyone. I wouldn't dump ERS yet. It's early on in the race. That track, it's very difficult in the dry, let alone the wet. Just try and keep tires in temp. Just knock the laps down. Try and stay clean. Avoid any contact, capitalize on other people's mistakes.
Yeah, definitely. There's lots of drivers still having tiny little snaps here. So difficult to be consistent at this track alone in the dry. But forget the wet, incredibly difficult. And it's going to be interesting. I'm not sure if there's going to be mixed conditions or not. But Max Husley has gained over a 10th in this last sector on Max Fan. Curious if a bit of a battle is going to start brewing here, as Max Fan also falls out of the toe of Jenna Andrews, who is slowly but surely also reeling in the race leader. So a battle for the lead might come in here in the next couple of laps. Going to be interesting to see. Sorry, go on.
I am curious though. We saw yesterday there was only about 1 or 2 overtaking spots as Jenna Andrews sets the fastest lap. That was pretty much turn 7. Does that really change today, or how is overtaking affected, I guess, by the conditions out on track?
I mean, I'm sure Fade will agree with this, but a lot of people are going to be making mistakes. So the overtake could come anywhere. Someone goes wide, and you just take the opportunity. So for the lead here, a big battle will be Jenna Andrews and Frankie. Jenna Andrews going looking around the outside, but not laying off on the brakes. Obviously not got that confidence yet. Only had 3 laps to get used to these conditions. Pushing the Haas of Frankie along through these corners.
Very, very close between the AlphaTauri and the Haas. Jenna Andrews seeming to have a lot more pace than Frankie. Frankie sliding around at the last corner of the previous lap allowed Jenna to really close that gap down. Frankie looked like he's struggling for in the conditions as Jenna hit the wall on the inside, might have a little bit of front wing damage as Frankie starts to pull that gap a tiny bit now on exit. Max Husley still having good pace, sticking right behind Max Fan. Everyone really just single file. Lando, not the best start from him, lost 4 positions, with Bald going down 3. But Spexter's doing well, keeping his pace in what is his very close championship fight. 8 points behind Justin going into this event. Justin not here, so this is a huge chance for Spexter to take the lead of the championship, and a huge chance for Lucas, who's spun. Lucas is spun at the exit of turn 21. Loses a couple places. Goes side by
still
side
battling.
The final 2 corners.
Literally wiggling that car through that corner there. And looking to return back into P7. Late dive down the inside. Does he give the space though? As you know, lots of driver briefing on this. Still absolutely sends it. Furious about that spin there. Angry at himself. And that anger's going right into this battle here with the Haas. Forcing that Red Bull to grip up despite presumably high temperatures. It goes to the switchback. And now has that line down the straight. Will he get a better exit? Or is he going to have to back out? Yeah. looks towards the inside, presumably going to send it no matter what. And I can't imagine this is going to be a battle the Haas driver's going to win as he pushes him completely wide there and moves up into P7. Very much an anger-filled move there from Lucas Hendrick, but immediately on the move back up the order. I'd say Jenna is really lucky, as you said, tapped the wall slightly. That happened to Alfa Romeo yesterday, and that basically completely ruined his race there. Lost loads of pace and a ridiculous amount of time in the pits. But from what I can tell, seems to have a reasonable amount of pace still, I'd say.
Yeah, starting to drop back a tiny bit though, so there is a chance that it would have given some minor front wing damage.
So, yellow flags at the back there. That seems to be an incident involving Lando and Vade. And we missed this, but UK Lucas W has, I presume, come into pit at some point as he's 31 seconds off.
He must have had damage or something.
Yeah, long pit lane at Singapore, I believe. 27 seconds lost? Or am I overestimating that a bit?
I have no idea.
Around 26 on the dry, so I don't know on the intermediates how much it is, but...
Okay, maybe 28, 29? Obviously, tyre warm-up isn't as much of a factor, as the tyres like to be in a slightly cooler window in the wet conditions. As maybe there was wing damage here for Jenna Andrews, because at one point he was pushing Frankie along, and there's now falling off.
Very near Max Fan.
Max Husley's been behind Max Fan for quite a while, but he's taken the calm approach, using a bit of ERS to keep up, but not able to stay in the move, suggesting these guys are on reasonably similar pace, which is going to lead for a bit of an ERS battle here. Who can manage it the best? As these guys are slowly but surely catching up with Jenna Andrews. Do they have wing damage? I mean, or maybe just having a bit of contact there just kind of ruin their confidence a bit, and the pace is kind of dropping off. And it takes an insane amount of concentration to stay consistent in these conditions.
And Kai, as you say that, Max Husley has a little tap on the wall.
Yeah, it's so hard. You come out of that exit and the car's like floating almost, and in the way it's just 10 times worse, and you need to get back on throttle. But that's massive. Max Husley makes the overtake, gives it back though. Very late braking zone there, and maybe Max Fan went slightly early, Max Husley went late, and that was enough of a combination to cause an impact. I'd be curious to see if that caused any wing damage there. That nearly happened to you yesterday, Faded, no?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Spectre 2 positions.
Thanks very much. P3.
But yeah, that very nearly happened to Faded yesterday. It was literally, I don't think you could have fit like a paperclip in that gap yesterday. But obviously in the wet conditions, Max Husley not as fortunate. And there's been...
Lucas Hendrick on the back. Goes wide almost into the wall.
Yeah,
oh my god.
Lucas Hendrick really struggling for car stability here. Maybe running quite an oversteery setup for the dry conditions, and really struggling in the wet. I mean, he shows signs of pace and then just slides everywhere. You can see his car wheeling down the corner, seesawing on the wheel. And as you say, that invalidates track limits, presumably in the braking zone. He's using 55-44 wings. Absolutely no wonder. But Dopey subscribed for 10 months in a row. The GOAT, honestly, the GOAT.
Definitely.
As I'm gonna take a wild guess here, and I'm gonna say Jenna Andrews' wing damage here. The pace is just gone, and Frankie's producing a nice little gap here. And Spexter, and nearly everyone who's in behind him is slowly gaining. Spexter seen light out of the tunnel, moved up from P5, and is slowly but surely gaining on P2. Everything's kind of going his way, so going to be interesting to see. Only 13 people.
Yeah. Collision between Max Van and Max Husley helped Spectre a lot. ERS battle as well. Jenna Andrews dumped a decent amount of it, around 70%, compared to Spectre, who's down to 84% now, but was around 100% when he took P3.
Yeah, managing it really nicely.
Frankie.
Sorry, guys. Just a reminder, Max Husley and Max Fan are fighting for a promotion into Tier A. and they are one after another. So
Yeah.
Max Fan is just 2 points in front of him on the standings, and Max Usley definitely wants to overtake him, and seems like he can, because it seems like he has a better pace.
Yeah, Max Husley. But Max Husley might be in for a penalty. I'm unsure. Because he gave the position back, but
Yeah,
that did still lose Max Fan time. I'm not really sure how that works on that basis. But
We'll let to the stewards.
But as you said, obviously, very close for Tier A next season, starting very soon. Last round out next week in Interlagos. Don't miss it. It's going to be a big one for both leagues. As the Tier A Championship is still on the table. Yeah, ERS manager in here looking really strong for Spexter. This is what Fader did yesterday, and it leapfrogged him from P5 all the way up into P2. But it's managing that ERS and staying consistent in this first stint, and really ramping up the pace and the pressure in the second stint after the pit stop. So it's going to have to wait and be patient here and see how Spexter deals with the pit strategy.
Well, what's really interesting to me is that, you know, we had that contact between Max Fan and Max Husley, and it lost everybody a little bit of time, but we've kind of all caught up back to the back of Frankie, and it's really going to be interesting during the pit stops to see who does the undercut and who can get out in front, because honestly, even Max Husley could undercut the rest of these guys and end up in front of all of them.
Yeah, I mean, literally, these guys are really close together, and when the pit stops start coming in, it's going to be go for all of them, and whoever has the RS to burn is going to be at an advantage.
The track is getting dry, guys. Take a look on the track, because
the lap time's dropping.
Safety car.
That's just a spin. I think he's fine. He's still
Sorry.
moving. Yeah, Bola.
I thought he was going into the.
Yeah, Bola spinning. Very easy to spin in that last corner. Get the rears heated up, and a tiny bit too much throttle input, and the car just pirouettes round. But very easy to get it recovered, and he is back on his way. As a yellow, is that Lucas Hendrick? Lucas Hendrick spun it. Broken front wing, lost it down the straight, and that is a safety car. Virtue only a VSC. But Lucas Hendrick immediately rage quit, unhappy about that one. Huge mistake, and vital to the championship, no?
I mean, that's not what you should do. There is still a lot of laps to go.
Definitely hopes to face the right direction.
And just do these things.
Yeah, definitely helps to face the right direction. As Bola has to let the ghost past. Obviously, the ghost has dropped loads of delta. Oh, what a nightmare. Is anyone going to pit here? It looks dry to me. Is anyone going to pit for like hards or mediums? I'm not sure it's dry enough yet. As Jenna Andrews nearly goes into the back of Frankie. Sorry, continue.
I don't know that it's as dry as you think it is. I mean, I can still see at least a little bit of spray coming off the back of the tires as they work their way through Sector 3. I think it'll probably be about 5 laps or so before.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Oh, that's huge. That's going to completely change how the race goes. The race leader here getting a drive-through penalty. That means he can go through the pit lane, but he can't change tires. He has to serve it, as that is our first pit stop.
Why?
What? I say it has a broken wing, but it's going to be very intriguing to see what tire he goes on. Obviously, it's definitely drying up. Going on another 70 meters, he knows he's going to have to be back. But yeah, as I said...
He got on the hards.
And I said broken front wing. I think it's too wet. I mean, obviously, this game doesn't show you the best. But it still very much looked like them wet tires were the fastest tire still. As Beast and Lucas Hendrick also come into the pit lane here.
No,
this gives basically Spexter the lead virtually.
Nearly loses the car, really struggling to get back on throttle. Obviously, his tires are not only cold, but there's no grip, none. I mean, he's sliding all over the place.
It's like Marco Andretti in Detroit in about 2017.
Oh!
We all know what happened in Detroit. IndyCar, possibly. We all know our IndyCar guys. Come on.
Yes. I don't think Marco Andretti hit anything. I think he kept it off the wall for about 4 laps on dry tires.
Don't worry, Henry understands references. You're good. I mean, I feel like it's going to be close, but I feel like the hard tires and the slicks, it's just far too early. And he's gonna end up losing a lot of time. And when everyone else pits, he's going to have to lose loads. But it would be curious to see if someone can keep an eye on his sector times. That would be very helpful. As a Spexter, our net race leader right now. Obviously not Frankie, has to serve that drive-through penalty and a pit stop afterwards. So he's going to fall down the order at some point or another. And this automatically forces Max Husley and Max Van up into podium positions. Oh, massive. Frankie serving the drive-through penalty. And as the track continues to get drier, Spexter setting the fastest time of the session by over 1.5 seconds. But this does also show you that the intermediates still are the optimal tyre. The hards and the slicks just not going to kick in yet. What would you say? Pit in a lap or two?
I mean, it's definitely drying. I mean, as we run under these bridges, you can definitely see some dry patches beginning to form under the bridges. The racing line itself is still a little damp. It'll be probably a couple laps as Lando and Bowler come in. Be interesting to see what tires they go on to.
On some mediums. You can't even take this to the end at all. No chance. So you're going to be looking to pit again. But the track does very much look quite a bit more dried out. Will these front runners hit this lap? That's the question. Because it looks bone dry on my screen. It looks dry on my screen, but I'm unsure.
Maybe I think next lap is more, but let's see.
I mean, there's still 10 purple sectors, though. Intermediates still just about working and giving these drivers a grip. But I feel like that's going to start fading away. The tyres are going to start overheating, and they're going to be forced to pit for the slick compounder tyre. But here we are, coming through to sector 3. This is where we're going to find out whether the drivers pit or not. Obviously, lots of time to be gained here by timing this correctly. As is Spexter going to pit? Here's the question. Yeah, Spexter in the pits. Max Fan and Max usually have to match this. No other choice. And also a very difficult pit lane to get into. Max usually literally pushing Max Fan in. So much time to be gained there as they all come into the pit lane. Medium for Spexter. Hard for Max Fan. And Max Husley going on to the... is that hards? Hards, and mediums for Spexter.
Oh, mediums.
That's interesting.
I don't know. No, yesterday I did 25 laps on the hards.
Yeah, the hards are a great tire. Oh my goodness,
yeah,
but
like
drifting.
I finished with 67% of tire wear with the hards.
Yeah, the hards
I don't know if he's
really
gonna
well.
do. I don't know if he's capable to do all these laps.
Look at the amount of lap
mediums.
time Jenna Andrews has lost. Look at that gap. He was up with these guys and he's lost 11 seconds. Plus. That's mental. Yeah, it was 3 laps too early.
Oh, Frankie's just in front of Spexter. Here comes the train conductor. He's gonna try to just slow him down as much as he can, I think. Because...
You think? If I was not Frankie, I'd just let them past. His race is long gone at this point.
What does he have to lose? Basically nothing. He's just gonna drop down the order on P11 probably.
But some people just like making other people's days better. Oh, that's absolutely massive. Such a hard sector to get right, and that's Max Fan's chances of getting a podium going out the window. Gonna have to pit for a front wing there. What
He's
a
only
nightmare.
lost an end plate, which...
Yeah, but...
Nah, he's nearly understeering into the wall. You need that downforce as the track is now officially dry. DRS now enabled, but Bolt still pumping in the lap times. But he's going to be forced to pit from the lead this race. But it's going to be curious to see where he comes out. Obviously, he put a lot of nice laps in. That was 3 purple laps in a row. Where is he going to come out? Has he managed to get himself a bit of an overcut going? Interesting to see.
Bald is still in the pits. Or Bald's still out on track on the intermediates. He's the last car out on track.
As a Spexter now outpacing them intermediate tire, setting a purple sector 3. Obviously, Jenna Andrews also doing the same on the hard compound tire. And you can see how much faster the mediums are than the hards. A 2-second gap to Max Husley behind for Spexter now. He needs to keep this going. It's essential that he extends the pace of these mediums as long as he can to give himself a nice cushion later on when he pits, presumably onto the softs later on, I'd say. For a fast last stint. As Bold losing so much time on the Delta now. A Max fan coming into pit for a new front wing.
I think he should have pitted that lap because
Should
he
have
actually
such an
gained on
advantage, yeah.
Spexter. Yeah, he gained some time. He was gonna come out like before, and now I'm not sure if he's gonna come out there because he's lost 2 seconds at the moment.
I think he'll still come out in front of Jenna Andrews. I think that the gap would allow him to come out in front of Jenna Andrews. I think he still comes out in P4.
Yeah, most people on the mediums, couple on the hards, and then Bold just riding out these intermediates. And he had such an advantage there, but taking out that extra lap lost him nearly 3 seconds of lap time there, unfortunately.
Max Van, as we mentioned, he pitted for mediums and he drops down into P11.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a Red Bull disaster there. Where's Bold going to come out? I'd say he's going to be in a pretty strong position there, coming out in 4th place. It's going to be tight with Jenna Andrews, though, who's just set the fastest lap of the session to push for that 4th position. Jenna Andrews coming around the first corner. It's incredibly close, side by side. But obviously, Bold going to be on the colder corner. Squeeze him into the wall. Lack of space given. That looked very much on purpose. But obviously, Bold on the colder compound tires. So benefit of the doubt there for himself. But Jenna Andrews hunting the Alfa Romeo down, rear wing wide open, having a little look down the inside. Gonna be later on the brakes, has the confidence. Obviously, he knows Bold has less grip as Bold goes wide just to give himself a fighting chance and manages to stay ahead. But a very controversial battle so far. But Jenna Andrews is not going to give up. Oh, there's so much more grip. Them tires he has are heated up. Is now alongside and ahead. But can he keep it through this next corner? Bold trying to hang it around the outside. But Jenna Andrews moves up to P4 despite being completely obliterated in the barrier. Lucky to keep his front wing intact. As Bold struggling to get them tires up to temperature.
I have a question. How did Kellen Kinji manage to be P3? Oh my god.
As I said, them pit stops. It's so much time to be gained. And as you look at his dash, he's using an incredible amount of ERS. And presumably just pumped in some nice lap times. And under the radar, has got himself into the podium positions and is gaining on Max Husley here. This could be a P2 place on the cards. As Spexter not a part of this battle, just going off into the distance. It's going to be very interesting to see here.
I mean, I don't know about the incredible amount of energy because he has lower energy than everyone.
That's why I said he used an incredible amount of energy.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I misunderstood.
But he does have DRS.
That's what happens when you're Italian.
Yeah, but gaining so much along the straight here, utilizing that DRS to his favor, which obviously he didn't have before in the wet conditions, and he's on the softer compound tire, so it's going to be in his best favor here to get up past Max Husley as quick as he can. As Max fan showing some really strong pace there. So unfortunate that he put it in the barrier, as he's very much just a huge gap in front to the next car. And there's a P3 in a little world of their own, as Kellen has literally nothing to worry about. If this battle loses them time, they were an 11-second cushion behind them.
Well, Kellen needs to get past Max as soon as possible because Kellen's on the mediums, so he presumably has to pit again. I doubt he'll be able to take the medium tires 21 laps. So he needs to get around Max as soon as possible, and then he needs to put in some qualifying laps.
Yeah, Max Fan lost it over the bridge. I didn't fully see how, but we just came and he had his car in the wall. Lucas Hendrick lost it on the straight in Sector 1. I'm not sure how he's done that, but he has. So Lucas Hendrick, I'm not sure he's still AI actually. Chilling down in 8th place, having a jolly old time. Not been the best race for Red Bull here. As Kellen's slowly falling off Max Husley. Max Husley incredibly quick here, getting up to grips with the track very quickly. And the win's still on the table. If he can keep the pace in them hard, he knows Specster ahead is going to have to pit. And otherwise, the pace is going to massively drop off towards the end of the stint. If you were in Specster's position, guys, when are we pitting? I mean, he has to pit, no?
No, he's definitely gonna have to pit again. Stints, I don't remember exactly, since maybe around 13 laps. So you're looking at maybe 9 laps time. Might have to try and extend the stint if possible to go into the softs, because going to the hards will just lose you time, I think.
Yeah, he has to go on the softs, 100%. There's a little battle here going on for P6, actually. 3 wide here. Not Frankie back in the battle. We know he's the fastest driver here. Looks down the inside, pushes his teammate off, and this allows Beast to get on the action. Bola trying to fight off the Williams, holding on. And manages just about hold position, but Beast pushing him along and looking for the gap where he can. Frankie leaving absolutely no space out there, fighting in anger. As Beast looking for a late send down the inside, but just about too far back from the rear of that house. As Frankie getting a nice gap, but I say it might be a little bit of a penalty on the cards if there's a report from that. Would you report your own teammate? That's a good question. We know Newman. Newman's very good at reporting, but we're not sure about these guys.
I never reported my teammates, so...
Oh my goodness, dearie me. Bola absolutely spun it in the same place again. This is going to suggest... I know Bola was saying before, he cannot get this corner right. Has low tyre pressures, but a very low downforce. As behind, Max Fan on the tail of 8. Take it away, Neiman.
Vade now in front of Max Fan. Max Fan trying to make a move, but Vade now has DRS, so maybe Max Fan has to stay behind as well here. Is he gonna use all of his energy? Yes, he is. He's about to use everything he has, and Max Fan goes side by side with Vade, and they just let him pass. Like
smart thing to do. Finishing the race always helps. As you've learned very much this season, haven't you, Newman?
Definitely. I'm ready for season 3, guys. Don't worry.
Typical Ferrari fan. As our Max Fan now on the charge for Bola. Max Fan obviously was up there with the leaders, has leader pace, and is arguably the fastest car on track right now, and presumably going to be a very easy move. As Bola are going to be struggling with rear tyre wear, and curious to see if Max Fan can how quickly he can make a clean move. Can someone get a stopwatch out for me, please? But after that, I can't imagine Max Fan's going to gain many more positions. As Beast 6 seconds up the road. Sorry about the drop frames, guys. I don't know what that's for. Every now and then you might just see it freeze for a sec. But it shouldn't happen too much, I don't think. But Max Fan on the charge. You can just see how much earlier he's sending and how much more grip his car seemingly has. He's in the DRS. Will he make the move on this corner? No, leaving it for another time. Obviously, doesn't want to get taken out so hard to make the move into turn 1 as the track kind of closes in. As Beast is around. Max Fan up into P8 now. P7 on the cards. Despite that spin, might be able to get a nice handful of points. But TOA is slipping away from his hands here. Has the DRS. Looks towards the outside this time. As Bola has absolutely no chance of last name. That's a sneaky little look down the inside. But Max Fan is the faster driver.
Oh, the inside. Oh my god.
Oh my lord. Bola, a bit of an ego send there. but is unable to hold on. Obviously, Max Van Faster has the advantage and is now driving away. But from here, it's going to be a long race, as that is Frankie who's actually spun. Does he have wing damage? No, he does not. But that is maybe good for Max Fan, who's now only 12 seconds behind. As Bola spinning or getting... Oh, Bola has hit the wall. Missing front end players. Vade makes the opportunistic move down the inside. And Bola is going to be forced to pit for a new front wing here.
That's one of those dangerous corners. You get the exit, it's turn 14, I believe. You get the exit wrong just a little bit at the exit of that corner. You get on the power a bit too early, and when you go to correct that rear end spin, you just clatter into the wall.
Yeah, so easily done. This track, as we said in qualifying, non-stop. I don't know how you guys keep this up for 31 laps in a row without like a rest. I'm convinced you guys doing like secret driver swaps. But not much really happening. Max Husley lapping Lucas Hendrick, AI at least, but unable to gain that time to Spexter, presumably waiting out for him to pit. Is there any chance he could take these mediums to the end if he just looks after the tires? No chance.
I don't think so, because when I was on the medium yesterday trying to get a desperate very long run to get a safety car.
Oh my lord.
What the
Absolute scenes, but who's put it in the wall? That's the question.
No
one's put it in the wall.
How is that safety car?
Someone just pressed their safety car button and here it is. And this is fantastic for Max Fan and Frankie, giving them a new hope of life as Spexter takes his opportunity to go into the pit lane onto the medium compound tyre, and seemingly the rest of the grid follows in suit. Lots of gaps, so I presume most drivers will be coming to the pit lane. Jenna Andrews in next, Bold in, and presumably Frankie and Max Fan also going to take this opportunity to get themselves onto softer rubber.
Can't wait to see Max Fan against Frankie all over again. Can't wait to see it.
Oh, gonna be some clean battling there. I think Frankie just invalidated track limits there onto the safety car, which I'm actually gonna have a sneaker. Oh, I can't open race director.
Faded.
Yeah.
An open race director for us?
He did!
Yeah,
He did! Oh, what a nightmare for that. Max Fan spun onto the bridge and has a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That is going to have a massive impact on the result here, as he has to get a 5-second delta if he wants to maintain position. And Lucas Hendrick lost it on that long straight there, and it is now a lapped AI, and it's kind of being a bit of a menace under the safety car here, I can't lie. Immediately rage quitting, which we obviously do not condone, and it's just being a hamper to everyone's races. Guys, if you're racing in any of our tiers, even tier C, you spin, that's on you. You go into the pits and you retire like a normal person rather than being a little menace like Lucas is, alright? This isn't cool. Okay.
I think it's gonna be a race ban, probably. I don't know.
Obviously, Newman's a professional race band. He can say all about them, and from what we can guess,
Never had a race
this
ban.
is a...
Never had a race ban.
Guys, he's never
Only
had a...
quali ban.
He's only had a quali ban, guys. I think we might have to have a chat with the stewards about what they're doing. Where's the race ban at?
You have a quali ban next week too, right?
Yeah, guys.
Yeah, I have 2 quali bans because
You get
what
it.
happened with Calces, we saw it on stream. 2
quali bans in a row.
Yeah, I mean it's okay. I'm not fighting for anything, so
He spun it too much, guys. It's why I need to practice with consistency.
no spun too much. Only, I mean, yeah, I spun too much. Yes.
Nice one, man. It was worth a try. It was worth a try. But I can't imagine Kellen's very happy. He has to leave a space for a guy who isn't even here, and that's gonna impact his. I mean, can he go in the ghost? You can like get inside of the Red Bull for a bit on the restart, no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but you're gonna lose a significant amount of time there.
As long as his front wing is behind the Red Bull's front wing, while he's inside the Red Bull.
Yeah.
he can go inside the Red Bull.
You never thought we'd be talking about going inside Red Bulls today, did you guys?
Oh my god.
My bad, sorry. As Max Van's in the pit lane again. Going to the softs. He's going to lose a position there. Two, actually.
Why is he going to the softs?
Oh, penalty. 7, the 5-second penalty, isn't he?
Yes.
No way you do 11 laps on the soft.
Yeah, of course he can. Obviously, a lap or two under the safety car. If he takes it easy, in Tier C, I had 4% tyre wear after 3 laps under the safety car. 3% on the front, 4s in the rear. If you take it easy, you can look after the tyres, and he's going to be super strong. Our safety car in Tier C was the same time as this, and my tyres weren't anywhere near 6% at the end of the safety car. So Max Van going to be very strong here on the soft compound tyre and the freshest tyres out here on track. Everyone else on the mediums, Max Van is going to be flying. But the question is, can he make that many positions up cleanly over about 9 laps? No, the safety car should come in this lap, providing everyone closes up in time. But will he be able to close up the gap and look after his tyres? That's the question.
Yeah, I don't think he had. I don't think Max Van had an option other than the softs.
No, medium's already used.
Yeah, he was on a new set of mediums. He only had 2 sets of mediums. Can't really go into the hards. He'll lose tons of pace. He'll have to take massive care of these softs if he wants to take him to the end, especially with the tire temps.
Yeah, I think he's gonna
Here
struggle.
in Singapore as well. Safety car in this lap.
Well, respect,
Safety
sir.
car played perfectly in Spectre's hands. Although Max Husley right behind was matching Spectre's pace on a harder compounded tire, so he will be looking to get the jump on Spectre right away. Tell him as well, he's got the Red Bull there. It's so annoying.
I'm sure Max Husley's very happy with that as Spexter about to go. Is he going to catch Max Husley sleeping? That's the question. As going to get ready to go as soon as that safety car's in, you can go. Where's he going to go? Here he is. About to go, leaving it very, very late. Max Husley just about manages to hold on in the tow. Matt Spexter immediately going defensive, weaving to get them tyres up to temperature. So does the rest of the field, as Kellen, feeling a bit of pressure from Jenna Andrews, manages to keep him behind and manages to maintain P3. But Jenna still following these drivers through down into turn 3. Bold feeling a bit of pressure from Frankie behind as well. Obviously, Frankie was our original race leader and is incredibly fast here today. But Bold seemingly running a lower downforce setup, pulling out a bit of a gap on the straight. And lots of little battling going on here, guys. All sorts up and down the grid to keep track of.
So
Max Van overtakes.
Making his first move. Bola! Amazing overtake from him. Really taking up the opportunity where the gap came and getting himself up into the points. After sprinting 3 times, that's very impressive. But Max Van wants to be moving a little bit faster than this at the moment. But you can see how much pace them softs have. You see that amount of space he closed in the braking zone. But that's only going to last for two laps or so for Max Van.
I don't know about the moment with UK Lucas. Seems like he pushed him a little bit off. Maybe the stewards will have a look at it, but it's okay. It's racing, you know, and Max Van with a softer tire, not so much energy compared to the others. He used quite a lot. He's behind Beast, and he's gonna try, of course, to get himself up into P8, which he's probably gonna do, because seems like he has a way better grip. In fact, he almost goes into the back of Beast.
Yeah, Max Husley showing that he has the pace to take the fight to the race leader. Max Van looking towards the inside, back weaving a little bit there. Can't make the move here though, as oh my goodness, dear me, Bola comes up absolutely nowhere, loving his dive bombs today. Max Van just about sees that, but has lost a bit of time to Beast. Needs a really good exit here if he wants to make the move, as he's losing so much time behind these guys and is just burning off that rubber on his red wall tires. As up at the front, Jenna Andrews really pushing Kellen along now. All he needs to do is stay in the toe, wait for the straight, and this should be a very relatively easily executed move for quite a vital position. Podium on hands here for the AlphaTauri driver. And oh my goodness, bold spun there. Frankie has to lift. What am I watching? Frankie reset to track, but had to sort of slow to let Bowl down. Smashed the throttle in anger, and the car has just gone around, and these two have lost quite a lot of positions from that one. What a rookie error. And somehow Beast is in P6, and I'm sure Max fans got a massive smile on his face as Bola has gone around as well. The two Haas drivers falling down the order there.
These spins, good for Max fan. Still stuck behind Beast, but up to P7. His ERS really isn't helping him. He's got about half the ERS that Beast has, which isn't going to help. His DRS now enabled. Max obviously still behind, managing his ERS. Not as well as Spectre. Spectre has around 20% more ERS. But Max obviously will have DRS now. Kellen just slipped out of the DRS.
Is Jenna Andrews gonna make the move here on the straight though? That's the question. Does he have with the help of DRS, this move is very much on the cards. Down the main straight now, looks towards the inside, just about alongside. Is he gonna layer on the brakes? And very clinically gets that move done in the braking and moves up into the podium positions. Kellen was looking so strong there, but that safety car is not working in his favor. As Max fan, he's still unable to get past Beast, but just use that extra grip. Dances around the outside as Beast. That's not Max Van's fault. Beast just lost the rear end of the car, but now has to fight off Bold. Is not having a good day here. Gets pushed off nearly in the barrier there. This is not Max Van's day. What? Oh my lord. That's UK Lucas W around after Max Van, in frustration, puts Beast into the wall while returning on track, takes out a Mercedes driver. Max Van has like nearly been in an instance of 3 drivers within like 4 corners.
Just a correction. I didn't say Max Van was on fault. I just said Max Van.
Yeah. But it's gonna be
Now Frankie is going bold with it.
Going to be interesting to see how much the stewards see of Max Van today. He's just not having the luck, as Max Husley now incredibly close to our race leader. All he has to do is get a good exit and a good run out of the this first little complex here, and does not get it. Too early on the throttle, but still has plenty of laps to set up this move. All he has to do is just stay composed for 2 or 3 corners, save up the RS, and just send it down on Spexter. With her with DRS, she had to close up that gap as Beast there, spinning. Nearly the exact same way as Max Husley nearly did. So Faded, you were in a very similar position, arguably, to what Max Husley was in yesterday. What does he need to do here to execute this move in the most clean way possible to get like a higher success rate? What's he doing right now?
Well, first off, he needs to not hit the wall like he just did, and not extend the track limits as he did there as well. But I mean, he needs to manage his ERS, put pressure on Spectre. He's around 30% less ERS, which will make things a lot more difficult than what I had to deal with yesterday, around the same percent I had with Focuser. But he's gonna need to stick with Spectre, stay in his DRS, just save his ERS up, put pressure on the Mercedes, let him dump his ERS down, just knock the laps down, and then try and get him on the last couple laps.
Yeah, talking about that, there's another factor in here. Jenna Andrews are gaining on these two, absolutely rapidly pumping in the fast lap of the session in the first 139s, and is now in the DRS of these two. And I feel like it's going to be a bit of a juicy 3A battle, as Jenna's just absolutely rapid here.
If I'm Jenna, I'm gonna sit back here for about another 3 or 4 laps and let Max attack Spectre and hope that they get together and I can just slip by
This
both
a
of them.
safety car?
In the pits.
As Beast is out of the race.
In the pit
Oh, Beast
lane.
retires in the
Beast is
pits.
giving up, man.
And look at the battle. Frank and Max Fan all over again. Baku. No Baku. Max Fan
Max Fan.
just lets him go.
Max
Yeah.
Fan's done, man. He's done.
It's fun.
Oh, there's a car in the wall.
Oh my goodness,
Oh, that's
dearie
a
me.
safety
Full
car.
safety car. And Jenna gonna be immediately looking to make the moves. But the question is, are we gonna see any random bizarre safety car pit stops here? That's the question.
I think Max Fun because he's on very used softs and he's just gonna lose what? 2 places?
Just casually on the 5-stop strategy, yeah?
Oh
So
my
if you're-
god.
If you're so to Newman and Faded, if you're Max Hoosley or Jenna Andrews, what do
Stay
you
out.
do here?
I'd
Stay out.
Track position here is so important. You cannot risk pitting and losing 3, 4, 5 places. Because even with fresher tires, if it's really hard to overtake.
Yeah, we've seen it with Max Fan, haven't we? Who was supposedly on rapid tires and just couldn't get past.
Yeah. Spexter into the pits though, as Max Hoosley.
That's a mistake. That's a mistake.
That's a big
He's
mistake.
he's gonna drop quite a few places. I'm not sure about that one from Spexter.
Spexter has pace, but not that much, in my opinion. That's good for Jenna
My
Andrews,
guy
though.
just... Yeah, Max
Yeah,
Fan
good for-
pits
good for
because
Jenna.
he has to. Like, he's gonna lose 2 places, but Spexter, my guy, what did you do?
Max Fan. Has he just gone into? He's gone into a USS soft, no? Sorry.
Everybody behind Max Fan is in. Just Spexter only down to 6th.
Still a
he
lot
does
of
have-
positions to make up.
It is, and he's only gonna have about 3 or 4 laps as we're gonna go NASCAR style with a green-white checkered.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, them soft tires are still going to burn out so quickly. I mean, he's going to have to make like 3 positions on that first lap, or he's not going to get back up into first place. Definitely a questionable pit stop, and we're going to see what Spexter can do with that. Yeah, that's interesting. Max Hoosley going to be feeling that extra pressure now. I'm curious if that's going to have any impact on his little battle with Jenna Andrews here. Well, now we have no Lucas Hendrick in the way. Lucas Hendrick slotting himself in behind Spexter, which is Max Fan isn't going to put any pressure on.
This is not gonna help Max Fan.
No,
Because
definitely not.
now Lucas Hendrick is ghosted in front of Max Fan. But maybe the Red Bull guys can say, "Oh, Lucas, jump in and stay, like, go 1 kilometer per hour and let Max Fan pass."
Nah,
Stay
man.
still.
Lucas Hendrick on dark, bro. He's off. He's out of here. As hopefully the safety. Wait, no. The safety car is not in this lap.
What?
As Lucas Hendrick.
No.
No. Lucas W is in a world of his own right now.
Yeah, but like, guys, everyone that's watching, you can see how you should never give up. Like,
Yeah.
Lucas Hendrick was still P6, P7 when he spun, and he just rage quitted, like you did in Fortnite back in 2017, and now
guys.
like with 2 safety cars, he could have just, maybe be on P3, P2, we don't know.
You remember, still we rise, guys. Hashtag blessed. Get in here, man. We never give up. Continue fighting till the very end. Come on, guys.
Don't give up, come on.
Exactly. Continue fighting, guys. It's always winnable. Except from when you've gone across the checkered flag. Then that's it, guys. You need to stop.
Unless the top couple cars get disqualified because they fail post-race inspection.
Oh.
And
What's
you
happening?
somehow
Max's
win the
old
race.
tab. His old tab. What a dipstick. Wait. No. Disqualified from the session. Max. Max is our lobby person. Oh my goodness. Half the grid's been disqualified. Oh my lord. Max Fan.
What?
Okay, so
God,
Max Fan old
Max
tab pushing him back.
I think this should be getting restarted with a 5-lapper.
Okay,
think.
I mean, yeah, this is.
Save the penalties and
You've got a red
Everyone-
flag. I mean, you have to red flag.
Can we?
yeah, we have to.
Yeah.
Freddy,
Red
can you deal with
flag
it? Freddy, can you get Max Fan and deal with that? We have the grid
Yeah.
order all here. I'm just gonna keep this stream up.
I think we have to red flag it, guys.
Is
because-
Arian in stream?
I don't think so.
I'm running the streams. I need you guys to deal with that. Lap 26. Someone can check the grid orders in the stream, and I think that could definitely happen.
Race
I have-
director, save race director as
I have
well.
recordings of everything. Don't worry, I have recordings of everything.
I don't know. I don't
We did
think
red flag
that's
for the two
done on
disconnects, but
purpose.
is this different to the two disconnects?
2 disconnects, and it was the first and the second guy, P1 and P2.
P1, P2 got
Stop.
disqualified.
But they got disqualified
It would just
in Coda too. and nobody.
They got disqualified because the safety car bugged, and when Max Van Alt stopped, but the safety car teleported back.
Spexter.
crashed.
Oh, Spexter in the wall.
No, it's not gonna count. I think it's not gonna count.
We could
I think the race is already.
we could just end the race and go from lap.
And it's because it's not really fair. We've done more than 75% of the race. It still counts as 100%, I think.
I mean, Arian's the guy to decide this. Yeah, everyone's just killing each other. Guys, this is not
Yeah.
what usually happens. I have to say.
Mamma mia.
Can someone send Arian a DM, please? Faded on it, guys. Don't worry. Interesting stuff out here in Singapore. We're gonna see what we can do, as this is just massive at the championship. This is just Cody's moment, I guess.
Yeah. I think we should stop looking at the race. Maybe
I have nothing else to
start with the
share.
interviews. I don't know.
I don't think we should start the interviews. Let's just continue to do this until we decide what's going on. There's still gonna be a bit. There's still racing. Still racing. They're all out. That's it, guys. Very interesting. They're all out. Does this mean we're getting another session? Faded. What's the status?
Let me-
No
No restart, I think.
restart. You're just gonna take positions from that lap, yeah?
Yeah.
Everyone left.
Although, well, Kai, hold on.
This is not normal. I don't like this type of things. Are we still live?
We are in fact still live. Cody's
sorry,
moment.
guys. sorry.
We are looking for a solution. Arian's offline, so we're gonna have to sort this ourselves. Guys, we're
I think it's
independent
a
of
red
that.
flag.
It is a red flag.
Yeah.
They say we do a 5-lap
Kai,
sprint race.
DMs.
Oh, I'm
I
looking.
don't think because we have a rule book to follow, and I don't know if we can do it. Let's take a look at the rule book.
Okay. Reading the rule book. The race has been red flagged, and that is going to be the checkered flag. Everyone can leave the lobby. We're going to take the race results from where it was before everything went down. That is the end of the Grand Prix. That means Max Husley takes the win by default. Jenna Andrews P2, and in third was it Bolt or Kellen? I know it was Kellen, but Bolts.
I don't know.
So it was a really good race. Sorry for ruining some good racing there, but we do not have control over what technology does. Technology has a mind of its own. And if anyone on the top 3 wants to come in for interviews, feel free to pop by into the waiting room. I'll be happy to do interviews with the backdrop of a bunch of AI going in circles. Alright, thank you everybody for watching. Doesn't look like anybody else is going to be joining us. A very good race up until the disconnect. Thank you guys for joining me. Very much appreciated. You can say whatever you want here. You guys have like 5 seconds each quick. Newman?
Thank you guys. Love you all. See you next week.
Boss man, what you saying?
See you next Friday for The Tier A championship race.
And the Tier B. I know, yeah, obviously Tier C is a pretty big one as well.
Yes.
It all goes down at Sao Paulo. As you know, a huge championship fight in Tier C. Anyway, Faded, your turn. Come on.
Yeah.
I need something American. Was it howdy?
Nah, I'm not Southern.
See y'all next week.
No. Thank you all for joining in for us for Tier B. Bit of a mess at the end with the red flag and everything. But be sure to check in this next Friday and Saturday for the final races of the season. Tier A championship between Melon and Romeo, and then Tier B a championship between I don't know how many people. But it'll be good, and I look forward to both events.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. Goodbye.
Pulling out to the inside. We're on the outside. Much deeper. Nearly spins. Side by side here. The wins on his second outing. The hoop spins.